and someone's got the talent to be able to execute it, the skills part may be something that, if they've got it, fantastic. And if they don't, if you've got the systems and the processes in place, the skills can be taught. And the skills can be something that simply is following whatever your process is. But I do want to make one main point out one main thing, that a virtual assistant is not a unicorn. And what do I mean by that? Is that when someone thinks of assistants in their business, they think of everything that they can imagine that can be delegated. So I want to do my social media. I want someone to do my emails, reach out to the agents. I want to do all my presentations. This whole sort of plethora of things that someone might do, which you might be doing, albeit something's great and not so great, but then is the expectation that someone can take all of that off you, right? So the point to note is that to focus on the core tasks in your business that you need someone to do and to do well, and then identify if there are things that are administrative and are there things that are marketing related that require someone that's creative? Is it something that you require someone to reach out? So appointment setting, someone who has fantastic communication skills. The idea is to break it down as well into these specific almost divisions even though you've got a small business, divisions in your business, and identify and say, what do I need my initial assistant to complete and execute really well, that they can do at least sort of 70-80%. And then the 20% sort of, so, or then maybe that might be something that you need to outsource or delegate to someone else. And why are virtual assistants a great option for growing buyers agencies? Because mainly when we start off with business, right, the cost factor is the main thing. And virtual assistants are really cost effective and they're more than half the price of employing locally. But before we get to this point of going, we're not helping the Australian economy, here's the thing. You actually are, because it doesn't mean that because if you're employing virtually or overseas, whatever that might be, it doesn't mean you can't employ someone locally. It actually allows you to get up to speed and generate income a lot quicker, because it's freeing up your time and ability to be able to do more. It's freeing up your time and capacity to bring on more clients, to do more deals. And so that means that then you can have the revenue or profitability to then decide on whether you want to spend that on someone local who is of a higher skill that it's essential and needs to be local. Does that make sense? So it actually really complements your business. So I'll give you an example. We have a fairly large client who I'd say now has over 70 buyers agents, and they have 6 virtual champions that work in their team in a variety of different roles. So that's research, that's marketing, etc. So 6 of them. And then the rest of the team is local. They're all buyers agents. But this virtual team is supporting the local buyers agents in all the back-end administrative research and operational tasks. So you can see there how that really marries up to be able to allow people to do more and actually scale their businesses and allow you to build the team a lot quicker. So the question is, how can a buyer's agent assistant help? You can see here I've just highlighted on a high level the main sort of 5 areas that assistants can help in your agency. So they can help with the strategic, so they don't actually help with strategy, but it's more so, say if you're doing buyer briefs and formulating search conditions. So the strategy, maybe you do that with your client, but then you need someone from from the strategy calls, you step away from that to create your buyer brief. And you pass that on to your assistant, who is then able to do all the hunting for the properties that fit that criteria. The second part is the research, in terms of researching on not just available properties, but particularly if you're researching around next growth areas. So you may have a process of identifying that every few months. So every 3 months, we have clients who every 3 months, they assess and do their research around where the next growth areas are. Shortlisting properties, they can help you collate a database and create a list of properties that fit your criteria or your buyer's criteria, which frees up your time to just focus on negotiating on the properties that are pretty much the cream of the crop. Evaluation, so that's assisting in like the documentation. So when I say documentation, it's like your property report. So how are you presenting properties to your clients? Are you putting them in reports? Are you putting feasibility studies together? So if you're catering to developers, for example, you may need someone to start pulling not only potential sales comparisons, but obtaining from trades or consultants prices for specific things, and they can pull that out and pop it in your feasibility study. Obviously, you're still the person that makes the call on it, but all that sort of back-end research side of things can be done by someone else. And part of that's the negotiation and securing stage. Not that they do that, but they can assist with all coordinating the building and pest inspections and keeping your client, this is the client care, keeping your client informed of major milestones through that client journey, right? The settlement journey in particular. So, making sure that the conveyancer, the finance broker, obviously the client as well, valuer, they're all informed as to when settlement's happening, what happens, just before settlement, if any changes are happening. So helping you through that process. And then the fun bit, which is on settlement day, ensuring that your clients are being sent gifts and emails and congratulatory texts and so on, and going through that whole client journey with you and supporting you through that process. Did anyone have any questions before we move on? No? Oh, good. So what are some of the tools that you can train an assistant on? These are some of the tools that we do train on during our the Growth University training course, as well as there are a host of other trainings that we do on an ongoing basis as well. However, everyone that goes through the Growth University has some basic level of how to do, comparative market analysis through RP data, able to navigate planning portals, and also get your dial before you dig reports. And if for whatever reason they sort of have been through this, but they're still a bit rusty, or you want them to be able to dive further in or get more training, we've got coaches, in-house coaches in our learning and development team that will assist with that as well. So who are our growth partners, and why am I highlighting this? Because we have quite a few clients who are, say for example, with Systems Down Under, have Zoho as part of their CRM. So we liaise quite closely with Systems Down Under to ensure that the CRMs are set up correctly, but also to ensure that your assistant knows how to use it as well. Game plans are another partner. We know Jordan and the team well, and they're doing amazing things with adding extra value to what buyer's agents are doing, in particular for investors. So if you don't already have game plans as part of your strategy, that's something that I highly recommend you look into. And obviously by the Buyer's Agent Institute, where we know a lot of fantastic buyer's agents are coming out of there as well. So we go back to the growth model again, and looking again at what the elements and the core elements are of growing. So when you've got the right people, the right talent, the systems and the strategy, you're able to grow and scale your business. And that's what a lot of our clients have come in that have started up in their buyer's agencies or their property businesses, freed up their capacity and be able to grow multiple 6 figures and 7 figure businesses over the last, over months and even years of working with us as well. So to sort of wrap up things this evening, I've got this quote: coming together is beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is success. Good old Henry Ford. And he, without a doubt, was someone who, from the very beginning, systemized things. When you're talking about manufacturing, that's systems galore, and making sure the right people were able to execute those particular tasks to be able to scale, a global car manufacturing business. So before everyone sort of leaves, and at the end of this, we will be sharing the replay for this, but we do have a few freebies. Number one is the VA task in the BA workflow. So I'm just going to share with you what that is. There we are. So this is basically breaks down on a high level what a typical buyer's agent is, and the workflow gives you an idea of what a workflow is as well. So if you just bear with me, I'm going to stop sharing here. So this is the virtual assistant's task in a buyer's agent workflow. You can see here, it might be a little bit small. I'll go here. It basically starts from the type of leads you might get, what happens when they go, when they're prospects and they enter into your sales funnel, your appointment setting, whether you do a discovery call. So you can see here, it's really the high level steps in the workflow within an agency that anyone that joins your agency is able to see how your particular agency works. So what happens here, we've highlighted in this particular document, what are the individual types of tasks a virtual assistant can help with. So in lead generation, building a database of real estate agents, so real estate contacts, social media creation and posting to your different social media platforms. So starting to generate sort of marketing and awareness, helping create lead magnets. So if you're creating infographics or ebooks that you want to share with your audience, they're able to assist with that. Email templates, newsletters, that sort of thing. So when we go to the client onboarding process, so that's to do with your discovery calls, strategy calls, you can have someone that does the appointment setting. If you've got a stack of leads, which is a great problem to have, but you can't get to them, then look at whether you can have someone help with that appointment setting and get basically your calendar booked out. Right? So booking appointments, setting up email reminders, adding clients into your CRM or task management tool, creating, doing all these administrative things like create client folders. So that's all summarized and nutted out in this VA task in the BA workflow, which you'll all get a copy of in an email. But noting here, if your intention is to systemize your business, as much as this workflow is available, this is not unique to your business. You still need to be able to sit down, and document your own unique process and how you do things in your business. I'm going to stop there and share that again. Awesome. And also the 5 efficiency hacks for real estate and property professionals. You'll get a copy of that also.